$200 million per year? $15 million per month? Or $2 million per week? The figures some players are offered these days are outrageous. These are the 10 richest footballers of all time. Starting out with a player who will probably be the richest footballer by the end of his career. Kylian Mbappe is only 24 years of age and is already in the top 10 richest players ever. With owners like PSG's and talent like his, they might end up handing the whole club to him one day. But even at such a young age, you can't argue with the figures he's paid. He's already won the World Cup and 5 league titles. No wonder the guy earns $78 million a year. At the rate he's going, he's easily going to be the richest football player in the history of football. He's already the highest paid athlete under the age of 25. With a net worth of $180 million, I wonder where he's going to be in 10 more years of these crazy wages. And it's not like PSG's owners can't afford him either. But Mbappe still isn't as big of a star as this next guy. Because when Ronaldo Nazario was playing at the top of his game, he was lighting the pitch on fire. And even though finances in football weren't as messed up as they are now, Ronaldo did pretty well in terms of wealth. I guess that's what happens when you play for 4 of the biggest clubs in the world at that time. Having Real Madrid, Barcelona, AC Milan, and Inter in the list of clubs you've played for is a flex in itself. And if that isn't enough of a flex, R9 won 2 World Cups and 2 FIFA World Player of the Year. If they call you the phenomenon, there will be a reason, right? He even signed a deal with Nike worth $180 million. Imagine how much he's worth right now. As for the clubs, we can't know the exact numbers of his contracts at these clubs, but it's rumored to be about $7 million a year 20 years ago, man. And considering the guy owns 3 Bugattis, I'd say the rumors are pretty accurate. But even playing for 4 legendary clubs isn't enough to beat a certain someone. Probably the only reason Ronaldo Nazario didn't make more than he did is because his career ended considerably earlier than most people. Unlike Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who managed to play at the highest level until the age of 41. 41! How is that even possible? He won 5 Italian league titles, 4 French league titles, and a Spanish league title. But the best part about his career is where he retired. AC Milan. Players normally go somewhere the level isn't as intense, but this Zlatan doesn't care. He's currently estimated to be worth around $190 million. And he's not done yet. He might be retired from football, but that only gives him more time to focus on his career as an investor. He recently remodeled a church in Sweden into a hotel and owns his own clothing company called A to Z Sportswear. Honestly, it's a surprise he played till 41 and still didn't make it further up the list. It would take something really special to top Zlatan's wealth, and the next player on the list is special, to say the least. Neymar Jr. has had an absolutely crazy career so far. From the lows of the streets of Brazil, Neymar has well and truly made it in life. He dominated world football as part of the deadliest trio in history at Barca, and then went on to continue grabbing bags at PSG. Not to mention the latest developments in his career. The only place that pays more than PSG is Saudi Arabia. He went from a crazy wage to an even crazier one at Al Hilal. The guy's already worth $210 million, and he's still playing under one of the highest paying contracts in the world. Al Hilal's owners are crazy rich, man. They're paying him $51 million a year, and literally picked him up from France on a private Boeing 747. I mean, what? Probably the only thing crazier than that is the amount of money this next player made without having to play. Dave Whalen played for Blackburn Rovers and Crewe Alexandra, and yet he made more money than Neymar Jr. How? Well, he combined the 2 things he loved most, football and business. Dave Whalen didn't have to rely on football's weekly paychecks to build up his wealth. His career ended due to an injury, but it was probably the best thing that ever happened to him. After his career as a player was over, he founded JJB Sports, and once that was a success, bought Wigan Athletic, a club that even made it to the Premier League in 2005. Now, Dave has a net worth of $220 million, and he just needs one big break to get this number much higher. He had to face a career-ending injury and still found success. Talk about making the most of the cards you were dealt. Speaking of cards, this next guy really got blessed. David Beckham was a truly gifted midfielder, but it didn't stop there. Apart from dominating free kicks for most of his life, he made the most of his fame and his looks as well. He made competitive wages from his playing days, but wages weren't so crazy back then, so that alone couldn't possibly pay him this far up the list. So how is he so rich? His sponsorship deals. He has appeared in sponsorship for Armani, Gillette, Pepsi, and Adidas. All that off-pitch action got him a net worth of $450 million. And some of the deals were for life, so we should expect it to grow in the coming years. Turns out, Beckham is something of a model himself. I guess being handsome is just as important as being a good football player. But that's not enough to be rich as the next guys. Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo have been neck and neck in terms of their football careers. Both made loads of wealth at Barca and Real respectively, and even now, they're both playing outside of Europe with outrageous deals. But the only part Ronaldo did better was using his fame as a brand. CR7 is a globally famous brand now, which means Ronaldo not only earns from his football, but also from his several companies. And to think CR7 almost never existed is crazy. Yeah, did you know when Ronaldo first arrived at United, he didn't want to wear number 7? Because the shirt was already occupied by David Beckham, so he chose something like 28. After Beckham's departure, Cristiano Ronaldo then switched to the iconic number 7, but imagine if he didn't. CR7 is literally on everything Cristiano owns. The CR7 brand has Pastana CR7 Hotels, CR7 Fitness, CR7 Museum. The only thing without the number 7? It is his Inspiria Hair Clinic. And the net worth? $400 million. His time in Europe may have come to an end, but his income isn't going to take any type of a hit. He might even start climbing this list now that he's being paid $200 million a year. Making it into the top 3 isn't going to be easy though, because at number 3 we have CR7's mortal enemy. We've all heard Leo's story a million times, but it never sunk in that the chances of Leo Messi being found by one of Barca's scouts is close to 0. And even after they found the boy, how often is it that a club as massive as Barcelona just straight up signs a 13-year-old boy? When you take all that into consideration, that's when you realize how special Messi really is. And now, after all those years, he has made hundreds of millions of dollars. And you know what? Even if he left Europe to join Inter Miami, he's going to keep earning $60 million a year. That'll propel his already massive net worth of $600 million. Oh, to be the best player in the world, live in Miami, and be that rich, Leo is living the best life possible. If the greatest player of all time comes in at number 3, what on earth did the number 2 do to be even richer? Well, meet Matteo Flamini. We saw players who earned wealth from their playing days and one who earned all his wealth through business. And guess what beats that? Earning through both. Flamini had a pretty successful career as a footballer. He started at Marseille, went to AC Milan, won 2 Serie A titles, and made it to 2 UEFA Champions League finals as well. That's pretty good if you ask me. And he wasn't done there. He later showed his talent as an entrepreneur as well by co-founding GF Biochemicals. His company helped everyone with environmental sustainability and gave him a net worth of over $10 billion. What a guy! Making the most of the opportunities he got and helping humanity as well. And he kinda knocked it out of the park with his overall earnings. It would take something entirely outrageous to beat Flamini's wealth, and different is exactly what this last guy is. Fight Bolkiah isn't a very famous footballer. He came from Southampton's youth academy, signed with Leicester in 2016, and represented his national team of Brunei. But all of this is nothing compared to some of the players on this list. How is Fike the wealthiest player in football history? Well, did I mention his family owns a country? Yes, Fike Bolkiah is the nephew of Hassanal Bolkiah, the Sultan of Brunei. The guy's literally worth $20 billion. His royal background probably meant a lifetime of duties and boring parties, but he chose to follow his passion for football instead. And even though it didn't turn out to be as good as some other players in this list, it's fine. It's not like he needs the job. It's kind of funny that we have the most skilled and hardworking players in this list, and the one who's the richest of the rich is actually just from a royal background. Life doesn't seem fair sometimes, but you know what would be fair? If you subscribe to the channel and make sure you never miss out on a video.